Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Kristen Kier. I am the managing director and I oversee the West Valley portion of BNI Arizona, as well as North Scottsdale and Northern Arizona. And my counterpart, Miss Carolyn Savornik, is the managing director for South Scottsdale and the East Valley. We are super excited that together as a team, we support all 84 amazing chapters around the valley, and it's growing, guys. We have so much interest right now of brand new chapters starting, which is so great. If you go to bniarizona.com, if you have someone that is looking for a chapter, we have a full list of all of our chapters, both current and building chapters, on the website. So go into bniarizona.com, click on chapters. There's two different options to view the current list and the ones that are forming. So if you know of someone that is looking for a chapter that is in the process of forming, you can check out that list, or you can just message myself or Carolyn, and we're happy to help direct them in the direction to a chapter that has an opening. We used to have a opportunity on the BNI Arizona website to search for chapters that had specific openings. However, it is now done internally in the BNI Connect system that directors have access to. So Carol and I are happy to help provide you guys with a list for the chapters that have an opening, or you can connect with any of our amazing directors, because we do have 50 plus directors that are still on the BNI Arizona team that help support all of our chapters around town. As a couple of reminders, guys, we have our leadership and support team transition process coming up next Monday. Yes, we're less than a week away from the survey going out to all members, unless your chapter has contacted me already saying they already started the process, which is just a few, but everyone else is getting the survey on Monday. So what's going to happen is, once we send out the survey, what you're going to want to do is select who you feel would make the best next president, vice president, secretary, treasurer for your chapter, as well as selecting the top 3 positions that you personally want to help support your chapter with. The more members involved in every chapter, the less responsibility falls on one individual for your chapter. So it creates less work for everyone involved, which is really what we want. We want as many members as possible to participate in a leadership or support team role, because then it just takes a little bit of information to help support your chapter with to become even more bigger, better, and successful. So we really do appreciate all of your time and energy, and we do appreciate you filling out that nomination form as soon as possible. Carol and I will be connecting with members that don't fill out that nomination survey, so please do us a huge favor and fill it out when it comes out, because that will actually help the leadership team. Because once Carol and I collect all of the data, we're getting together with your leadership team. So it's not Carol and I making all the new decisions. We're getting together with your leadership team to go over the nomination information to then help support the chapter select the next leadership team for the next term, which will start October 1st. It's going to be here before we know it, guys. So we're going to spend the next couple months lining up your new teams for the new leadership and the new support teams. It is a tradition that we transition those roles every year, and training will start the second week of August. All the training dates are already on the BNI Arizona calendar, so you can check them out already if you'd like. But we're going to have a lot of offerings for training, which is really exciting this year. It's not just 3 to 4 training offerings. We're going to have 8 to 10 offerings for every leadership and support team role. You heard that right. 8 to 10 trainings per role, which is just crazy talk. But we feel that with putting in more time and energy with training this year, we're going to be able to set everyone up for success for this new year. We're providing a lot more availability and options, because we have had feedback to where members couldn't attend trainings either on a Monday or Friday. So that's why we now have it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at all different times, both online and in person. So there is literally an option for everyone. And we definitely look forward to hearing your feedback once we are complete with this year's training to see if it has been a better option for everyone and to get your feedback on what we could do even more to make it bigger, better for everyone's success. So today I wanted to touch on some more myths, guys. I did a myth busting session a couple weeks ago and I wanted to touch on a few more myths. Gotta bust those myths. So I'm going to continue just with a couple more, not a whole lot, but I think that these myth busting sessions are going to keep continuing because I want to provide the right information for all of you guys to get the same communication out for all these different topics. So here is my first question for you guys today. So why are attendance letters sent out? So here's a couple answers, and if you are watching this live, feel free to put in some answers in the chat bar. So why are attendance letters sent out? I'm going to give you 4 different answers. Let me know which one you feel is correct. Either hopefully everyone can see me. I can't change any settings while I'm live. So we're just going to continue and hopefully things unfreeze for you guys. So the answer is D. There we go. We're getting some, all right. We're getting some thumbs up. I think I'm back. So attendance letters are sent out, guys, to create accountability and to remind members how many absences that they have. So it's not because BNI is mean, it's actually a automatic thing. So once the vice president submits the attendance in BNI Connect, those attendance letters are automatically sent out. So, never heard A through D. Well, A was because BNI is mean, B was to create accountability, C was to remind members of how many absences that they have, and D was both B and C. So the answer was both B and C. And it's one of BNI's core values is accountability. So we want to make sure that we are reminding you guys how many absences that you have in that 6 rolling months. Because I can't even remember what I did last week versus what I did 6 months ago. So it's good to have that reminder. And those absences are there for that. So just want to make sure to keep that out there. So another one is, what is a CEU? Is it a continuing education unit or a chapter education unit? I still hear both versions of them in different chapters, but the answer is B, a chapter education unit. So we are all about BNI's chapter education units versus continuing education units. If we're in our own professional industry, those are continuing education units versus the chapter education units. I don't know why my screen's shaking. It's sitting on a thing, so I'm not sure, Dave. My phone is going crazy today, I guess. All right, guys. So the next question, and we already touched on that one. Ooh, this one's a good one. So what counts as an L on the PALMS report? So PALMS is an acronym for the attendance. So what counts as an L on the PALMS report? Is it A, late, B, leave early, C, both A and B, and my puppy wants to join the video today, or D, none of the above? So what is the answer, guys? Is it late, leave early, both A and B, or none of the above? Any answers? It is. You are correct, Dave. It is C, A and B. Yes, Amanda, A and B. It means late or leave early. It has 2 meanings when it comes to the attendance. So late and leave early means if you're late, that means you are showing up past the start time. So let's say, for example, BNI Hall of Fame. They are Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. which means their open networking portion of their agenda starts at 7 a.m. And it's a 90-minute meeting, so they go from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Late means that someone showed up past 7 a.m. Yes, the open networking portion of the agenda is part of the meeting, guys. You want to show up whatever time your meeting starts. That's the time you want to be there at the latest. It's actually better to show up early because guess who else shows up early? The visitors. So you want to make sure that you're there to connect with the visitors. If none of the members are there prior to the start time and visitors show up early, they may leave because they think that they might be in the wrong spot. So make sure to get there early. Take advantage of connecting with the visitors. And leave early means that you left prior to that 90-minute ending. So, for example, with that Hall of Fame example, if you show up past 7, you're late. If you leave before 8:30, you left early, which is also marked with the L, guys. So, but here's the thing. If your meeting is running late, let's say they were running over time, but you needed to leave at 8:30, if the meeting's still going on, but you leave at 8:30, that's still staying for the entire time. So you are not marked left early in that situation. So that is one of the key pieces. So you want to make sure that you time block the entire time for your 90-minute BNI meeting. And I know that some of our larger chapters do have an extended time. So if you're visiting different chapters from around town, make sure to check to make sure if they are a 90-minute meeting or if they are longer. I know that there are several chapters that are longer, such as BNI Connectors, Built More Power, Foothill Sharks. Like there are larger, and Paragon. There's chapters that do go longer than that 90-minute time frame. So make sure to check that out before you visit, because you don't want to be that person that leaves before the meeting ends, because that'll hurt your visibility. You want to make sure that you're there from start to finish to take advantage of the whole meeting time. So there is that. So one last one for today, and then we'll save some more for another one. So last one for today. Does BNI Arizona have a transfer process? A chapter transfer process? True or false? Is that true or is that false? So if you answered true, it is true. Now there is a process when it comes to transfers. However, I think that there's a misconception when we say transfer. Because when we talk about chapter transfers, it almost gives the illusion that you can just move from one chapter to the other. And that is far from the truth, guys. There is a process involved when it comes to wanting to transfer to another chapter. And some of the reasons why members transfer is, one, if they're moving their business to another part of town to where they need to find a chapter closer to their business, or scheduling conflicts. We sometimes have different meetings and things pop up in our business, or different things that come up to where going to our particular meeting isn't going to work with our schedule. So those are two of the main reasons why members may look at transferring to another process. But here's the key thing, guys. We don't encourage chapter transfers because you're building strong relationships with the members of your chapter. If someone were just to continue to transfer to different chapters, you're losing out on those relationships that you've built over time. One of the core values of BNI is building relationships. So you want to make sure that you are sticking with your chapter to continue those lifelong relationships with those members of your chapter. Now, when you're looking to do that process, you have to resign from your current chapter before you apply to another chapter. So really it's resigning, and then you have to apply to the new chapter. Now, when you apply to the new chapter, you're going through the new member interview process just like any other applicant. So just because you're coming from another BNI chapter doesn't mean that it's automatically approved, guys. So that there is a risk with chapter transfers. I'm just going to tell you guys the truth. There is a risk because you're leaving a chapter and you're hoping that you get approved in this new chapter. So there is that process, because why we call it a transfer is because in BNI Connect, in the system, it's a transfer of membership time, but it's not just an easy chapter transfer. There are pieces that go on in that process. And when you go and apply to the new chapter, that new chapter is one of the pieces that they do is they call and connect with your previous chapter to see how you were as a member. So that way they make sure that they're getting an awesome member coming into their chapter as well. So you'll go through the whole interview process, and once approved, then we can transfer your membership time from your previous chapter to the new chapter. So that's where that word transfer comes in, but it's not an automatic thing. So, and one of the things with that is if you have less than 6 months of credit with your prior chapter, you are required to renew with the new chapter, and your time gets, the additional months get transferred over to the new chapter as well. So you don't lose out on any membership time, but if you have less than 6 months, you will also have to pay for your renewal once your application is approved with the new chapter. So I wanted to make sure everyone's clear. I've been getting a lot of questions about what it looks like, what the process is, and it's not an easy just, hey, we're going to transfer you from one chapter to the other. That's far from the truth. So you resign from your current chapter, then you apply to the new chapter. You go through the entire new membership committee, interview process, all of that good stuff. And once approved, then we transition to the next piece there. So those are my quickish, right? Miss for today's Wisdom Wednesday. As I mentioned earlier, we have our nomination form coming out on Monday. If you have any questions, please connect with Carolyn and I. If you are a newer member to BNI, we do have 2 member success program trainings coming up, guys. One is Friday. It's an in-person member success program training by Nate Dominguez. He is the trainer for this Friday session from 9 to noon at the BNI Arizona office. And then we have a second one on Zoom with Bonnie Maley, which is this coming up Monday from 1 to 4 p.m. So within the next week, we have 2 member success program opportunities coming up for you guys. And to sign up for that, you'll just go to bniarizona.com and click on the calendar link. Click on the event, and then you'll click register, which will connect you through the BNI Connect system to get you on the list and registered. So looking forward to seeing you there. Carol and I will also be at the office for the in-person member success program training. So looking forward to connecting with everyone at that training. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to us and let us know. We're happy to help. Have an amazing day, guys, and we will see you all next week. Have a great day.